Hello CraftDee Family, and welcome to another tutorial by She's So Crafty. For today's DIY project, we will be creating another She's So Crafty original design, which is this wood calendar display with planter boxes. Now this farmhouse style piece is made of all wood from the Dollar Tree and the home improvement store for a total project cost of less than $6. Now all of the measurements will be provided to assist you in recreating this, and as always I will include the complete supply list in the description box so you can easily use it for reference as you gather your supplies. Now before we start, I do have to say hey to all of my subscribers, and if you're a new visitor to my channel today, I do hope you consider subscribing as well and stick around to enjoy this craft in all of those different ways that I will share with you and ideas on how to display these in your space. So now let's just jump right into the project. Now for this project we will need a 10-pack of these paint stir sticks from Lowe's or Home Depot for 98 cents. We'll also need 2 crates from the Dollar Tree, and you can use the closed or open slat style. Some tumbling tower blocks from the Dollar Tree. A wastebasket from the Dollar Tree, or this gutter guard mesh from the home improvement store. We'll also need a 1x2 piece of wood from the Home Depot, and this cost $1.78, and these are sold in 8-foot lengths. Now, in order to join the pieces of the project, I am going to butt them up in a 90-degree angle, which is the easiest way to assemble this project. Now, if you prefer to have angled corners, such as 45-degree miter corners, you can do that as well, as shown here, and you'll need a miter box or a miter saw to do this. Now, the only thing to remember is if you do decide to do miter corners, the top one is going to be 3 inches longer than specified in this DIY. Okay, so we're going to cut 2 pieces at 23 3/4 inches, and we're going to cut 4 pieces at 10 3/4 inches. Now for the paint stir sticks, we're going to be cutting those down as well. So let's go ahead and remove those from the package. Now we're going to put 5 sticks to the side, and for the other 5 sticks, we're just going to stack them up evenly, and we are going to mark them 9 inches on the side without the handle. Now once you have that 9-inch mark, we're going to go halfway down and mark 4.5 inches. So we'll have 2 cuts we need to make on the stack of sticks, and when you're done, you'll have 10 total 4.5-inch sticks. So now that everything is cut and ready, we're just going to protect our work surface and gather up all of our wood, and we are going to prepare to stain it. Then once we have all of our wood pieces and our crates, I am going to grab my stain, and I'm going to be using my Wax Jacobian stain, which is one of my favorite stains. So I'm just going to grab my cloth, and I'm going to start by applying the stain to the larger wood pieces. Now when I do apply this with the stain, I am going to stain all of the sides of the wood, making sure I get a nice, good, even coat. Now you do also want to make sure that you get the end pieces of the wood as well, because they will be showing in the final project. Now here is one piece all stained, and you want to repeat this for the other long piece. Now once the long pieces are stained, we're going to do the 10 3/4 inch pieces, and the only difference in this one is we're not going to stain the ends on this one, so we can use the glue. Now once those are done, go ahead and stain all of your paint stir stick pieces, and then we can move on to those crates. Now you do want to make sure your stickers are all removed, and just go ahead and stain the inside and the outside of all the crates. Now some of these crates do have some manufactured glue marks on the inside. It's not a big deal. We'll go ahead and fix that in the end if you like, but we're just going to stain both of those crates, and when everything is done, we want to make sure everything dries for at least a couple of hours. So while those dry, we are going to grab our carpenter square and all of our tumbling tower blocks. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay out 6 in a row. We're going to be making 3 sets of 6 blocks. Now to join these together, I'm simply going to be using my wood stick hot glue, and I'm going to be joining them end to end. Now as I join them end to end, I want to make sure I wipe away any hot glue that oozes out of the seam, and just flip the set as it goes so it doesn't start to bow or curve. Now once you have that first one done, you just want to repeat it until you have 3 total pieces. Now these will need to be stained as well, so I'm going to go ahead and add a quick coat of stain to these with the same color, and then once they're stained, sit them out with the other pieces to completely dry. So here are all my pieces ready to go and nice and dry, and we can start assembling our piece. So I'm going to lay out my grid mat for guidance, and then I'm going to take my 2 longest pieces. I'm going to lay them across the mat horizontally, making sure they're even, and then place those 10 3/4 inch pieces in between them, the 2 pieces all the way down. Now for the first piece, what we're going to do is we are just going to hot glue that right into that corner. Now I will be using my wood stick hot glue for this. Now this is a temporary bond just to hold it into place until I screw these in place, but this holds it with a quick grab while I work. Now after that first one is done, we are going to space the next one down 3.5 inches. Now once we find that mark, go ahead and put some painter's tape there, so when you pick up your stick and add that wood glue on it, wood hot glue, we can go ahead and place it right back in place, making sure we don't miss our mark. Now once that bonds, take your ruler again, and we're going to go down 10 3/4 of an inch between that one and the next one. You want to go ahead and move your tape down and add glue to that one and place that one in place. And then once that's bonded, all you have to do is just go ahead and glue that hot one, that last one right in place. So now that all your sticks are bonded to the first side, all we have to do is connect the other side. So all you're going to do is lift up your frame and add hot glue to all those raw edges of those center pieces that you just added. And then when you lie it down, you want to connect that other end. Now you do want to do this kind of quickly and use your ruler just to make sure all the spaces are even between them and match the other side, because there is about 5 to 10 seconds of working time with this glue. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drill some holes on the side of my frame for wood screws. Now, if you have something like a pocket hole tool or a brad nailer, you can definitely use those, but drilling into the side is really easy, and I'm using a 7/64 inch drill bit. So I'm just going to drill a hole in each side where the wood from the center intersects with the outside of the frame. Now once all my pilot holes are drilled, I am going to grab some screws, and for this project I'm going to be using some number 8 2-inch wood screws. So once we do have all our screws, we can go ahead and start applying them to the frame. Now I'm just hand threading them in, and I have my drill bit on my drill, and I'm just going to drill them down till they're nice and flush with the surface. And I want to do this all the way around the frame until your frame is assembled and nice and strong. So now we're going to flip our frame with the good side facing down. We're going to start to add all of our 4.5 inch pieces from our paint stir sticks, and we're going to apply them to the smallest 3.5 inch open area. We just want to lay them side by side all the way across, and we want to make sure that the measurement side is facing you since the good side is facing down. You just want to add a line of hot glue on the very top and bottom of the piece and place it face down over the opening, and you want to get them kind of snug together. Now 10 of them should fill this gap perfectly without any errors, so this is what it will look like when it's all put together on the front. So the next space we're going to be working on is the opening for our actual calendar. This is where our actually tumbling tower blocks and our paint sticks will come into play. So we're going to lay our 6-piece block sets around the opening on the bottom and the 2 sides, and these will act as a guide and a spacer for our calendar. So I'm just going to take a calendar and place it and center it right on the opening, and this will be kind of a guide to see how long it is. Now you don't need an actual calendar to do this. You can use an 11 by 11 piece of cardboard or cardstock just for a guide. So now that that calendar is there, I'm just going to start adhering those tumbling tower block pieces on the bottom first, and then add one on each side. Now it doesn't have to be flush against the calendar. You really want a tiny gap between the calendar and the paint stir sticks. Now for this last one, you want to add your tumbling tower block on the other side. You want to wiggle the calendar just to make sure you have a little give in there, and then make sure that all those pieces are nice and secure. Now once those are in place, grab those paint stir sticks, and what we're going to do is lay them across the tumbling tower blocks, and we want to space them evenly all the way across. You just want to make sure that that bottom one is flush against your tumbling tower block to make that little holder at the bottom so your calendar does not slide through, and then space the other ones evenly. Then all you have to do from there is add hot glue on both ends of your paint stir sticks and apply them in place. Now I left gaps here just to hold it. You really don't need a solid closure in the back. You just need kind of a guide, but you definitely can get an extra pack of paint stir sticks if you don't want a slatted look and you rather have a solid look. So this final opening at the bottom will be an accent opening, and this is where your wire trash can or your gutter guard mesh comes into play. You can cut the mesh off the roll and fit over the hole. You can also cut it from the trash can with a pair of very sharp scissors or wire cutters to cover the hole as well. Now for the wire the gutter guard mesh, I'm just going to cut a piece that covers the opening and then trim it down to size where it doesn't overlap and show on the other side. Now this is really easy to cut with scissors, and it's also very durable, and a roll is 20 feet and it goes a long way. So to apply it in place, all I'm going to do is use my staple gun all the way around it. Just make sure you hold it taut into place, and you want to apply staple about every inch or so, and this is what it would look like when it is applied. So now we're going to take those crates. Now we're going to bond them side by side. Again, I'm using my wood stick hot glue, or you can use wood glue. It's all up to you. You want to bond them together side by side and press them firmly until that glue adheres, and when your wood glue dries. And now that they're bonded, we can apply them to the bottom of our piece where the mesh was applied. You want to make sure it's centered between them, and then when you have your location designated, you can apply that hot glue on there, a generous amount of that wood stick hot glue or wood glue of your choice, and just make sure the bottom is flush with the bottom of the frame as shown here. Now you just want to wait until that totally dries to continue. So now what we're going to do is work on the header. Now this header is great. You can add some of the metal words from the Dollar Tree if you like. There's so many options that you can do with this. You can also write something on there with a paint marker. Or for me, what I did is I just ran to my Cricut real quick and I cut out the word Farmhouse. Now I did cut this out of removable vinyl, so I'm able to remove and replace it as I wish. But this was so easy to do, and I used a very basic font, and I'm just going to apply that on to that opening and then peel off that transfer tape, and now I have a Farmhouse header on there that I can keep up for as long as I like and then remove it when I decide to change it out. Now, one of the last steps I'm going to do for cosmetic purposes is to cover up those nail heads because they show on the side. Now, this doesn't really bother me, but if you really want them to blend in, I am mixing some brown acrylic paint with a little bit of black, and I'm just going to match the color of my stain, and then I'm just going to dab inside that screw head with a fine tipped paintbrush, just blending it in to the rest of the piece, and that way they don't stand up as much, and when it dries, you have your completed piece. So now we're going to flip it over and we are going to insert a calendar. So I have one of these Farm Fresh calendars. I'm just going to choose an image that I want to display, and I love this honeybees one. I think it's so cute. Now the important thing is to keep that insert that comes with your calendar and make sure it's inside the middle of the calendar when you want to insert it, and then you just put it into the guides that you created with your tumbling tower blocks, and it slides right into place. And then once you flip it over, your calendar image will be perfectly displayed in your piece. And now just add your florals and greenery. Now this is a self-standing piece, but if you want this to hang, you can easily make that happen as well. So I love to use these D-rings. I got these from Amazon. I'll put the link in the description box below. And I'll also be using some picture hanger wire as well. Now what I'm going to do is put one of those D-rings on each side of the top of the back of the frame, and you just want to make sure they're at the same location on each side. Now these do come with little screws as well. You don't need pilot holes for these. These are fairly small screws. Just take your screwdriver and screw each one of them into the frame. Now once that's done and they're nice and secure in place, I'm going to grab that picture hanger wire. Now the reason I am using a wire with this is because there is a slight protrusion in the back because you have that calendar holder in there, and you want to have the flexibility of having your piece hang even without having a long nail in your wall to get to those D-rings. So all I'm doing is taking that wire, I am tying it around each D-ring, cutting it down, and then I'm going to twist the tail around the rest of the wire. Now you're just going to take your measurement, make sure your wire doesn't show outside of your frame, tie it in place, and then twist it around itself, and there you go. You have a wire to hang your piece. And here is this beautiful calendar holder on display, and I absolutely love how this turned out. Now these inexpensive wood pieces look amazing with the stain, and it really shows the beautiful detail. Now I really love how you can customize the header on this piece and switch up the calendar images with changing seasons, and then you can add beautiful flowers and greenery to the crates. Now there are so many ways to decorate and showcase this piece. Now what I really love is the warm and cozy fall season, with the flip of a calendar you can change the entire look. Now this wood finish perfectly accents the colors in this fall decor ensemble. And one of my favorite fall calendar images is this truck full of pumpkins. Now when you add fall leaves, it really brings the presentation to life. Now I love this entire look. What do you think? Now the great thing about this is it's not just for calendars. Now I wrapped a Dollar General placemat around the cardboard calendar insert, and now you can slide it right into the holder. Now you can do this for gift bags, some printouts, or family photos that you would love to display in this piece. Now this is great for a home decor piece, but this can also be customized for a family member too. So what I ended up doing is I painted a version white and added a child's name up top, and I inserted a calendar image and added some sweet flowers. Now this would make a great decor piece for a child's room and can be painted in any color or stain that you like. Now you can paint it an earthy green and use for a safari animal calendar for your little guy, or even paint it black and put muscle car calendar images for that man cave. Now the possibilities are endless, and even though I've given my special touch, there's never one as great as your own, so let me know what you think about these in the comments below. Listen, if you love DIYs on a budget, please give this video a thumbs up and share this video with your friends. Make sure that you're following She's So Crafty EE on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest for the latest news, sneak peeks, and giveaways. If you like videos like these, you don't want to miss the next one, make sure you're subscribed by clicking that subscribe button below, or just click on my She's So Crafty logo on your screen and make sure you hit that bell to be notified when my next DIY goes live. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.